We have a national level golfer, we have an author,
ISRO scientists,
we have two ISRO scientists, and
content creators.
We have a lawyer.
Flexibility and very hands-on as well. We're treated like postgraduate students, right? It's not like you go, you're told this is the syllabus, follow this, you'll get your A+ by the end of it. That's not how it works here.
The average for our senior cohorts, it's at about 33 lakhs per annum.
Yeah, pretty much. And median is also around the same.
Yeah, the
it's
median
like
is
30
also about
plus.
30 plus.
Alright, so here we are at yet another campus. We are at Masters Union right now, a campus that all of you were waiting for us to go and know a little more about. I'm also interested in knowing the kind of buzz that this campus has created and what exactly has resulted in that. To do that, I have these people who are sitting here. Hi guys, thank you for calling us in here. Tell me a little bit about you guys, how did it feel being the part of the third cohort of Masters Union?
It feels exciting. At the time when we joined, it was completely bizarre because we were filling in very big shoes. We'd only seen placement reports and a newbie school, but it feels very exciting to be a part of something which is disrupting.
Right. What about you?
When I was looking for my MBA, I was looking for a lot more flexibility because I've done entrepreneurship before this. So it's not really the most typical way people go for a B school. And I was hoping where I could be more challenged every day, where I could find like-minded people who are interested in the entrepreneurship space, who are, who come from diverse backgrounds and are looking to innovate and actually disrupt, as you mentioned. So when I was browsing the colleges, MU definitely stood apart. And that was my prompt to join MU.
We are at the campus of Masters Union. How do you define this campus? This does not look like the usual B school campuses that we go to, at least I go to. How do you define this particular campus in your words?
In my head, this is like a hybrid launchpad for where we are supposed to be after our MBAs. It's been designed in a way that we are constantly reminded of the fact that we are not in school. We're actually working all the time, and we are actually making sure our experiences are, somehow curated in a way that we are prepared to join the workforce immediately after this. So we are surrounded by people in this very building who will be our recruiters, who will be our next co-workers. So I feel it's not a campus at all. It's just preparing you. It's like an incubator to jump onto the next step.
Apart from the location benefit that this particular campus has, what are the other benefits that you guys think are, the defining factor for Masters Union in general?
For someone who's looking for latest technology and amalgamation of business, because as time is passing by, these both are going hand in hand. Doing business without tech or tech without business is not making much sense today. So this is the place to be, to look at entrepreneurship and path-breaking steps. We're all innovating. We're doing this as part of our curriculum, which is unfortunately not there for most elements in traditional B schools, if I may say so. So that's one thing to borrow from Masters Union.
Right. When I go to these campuses, a lot of these campuses have sprawling, huge grounds, a lot of facilities are there, gyms are there, everything is, packed there so that you spend your day in that campus and you do other activities around that as well. What sort of activities do you do here? Is most of your day spent in these classrooms, or you go out, or what is the day like? How do you spend
I think our day
time?
at Masters Union campus is no less than a cardio, because for the first few terms you're exposed to the outclass assignments and the outclass projects. These components comprise of creating your own business from scratch. So you have to hound for teams and ideas. You have to actually go down to the markets, do the market survey, and then present something, all supplemented with a course curriculum of an all-day 9 to 10 or 9 to 11 sometimes. So that is one, but like you mentioned, the packed grounds and all the physical activity, for that you need to visit our hostel, and it's equally beautiful and engaging, where we have all the gyms and sauna and everything. So that's where we cut out the balance.
Let's talk a little bit about the campus life. I mentioned about the classrooms. What exactly are the kind of things that you have to do beyond the classrooms? You mentioned that you go for market visits, you go for data collection properly for any kind of project that you're working on. Apart from these, are there like cultural activities that happens? Are you guys part of some clubs and committees that you have?
Okay, so we have essentially two types of student-led clubs. One is more academic in nature, one is more co-curricular in nature. So you have product management club, you have consulting club, like the regular B schools, but you also have something very different. You have an ed tech club, you have a space tech club. We are all over the emerging markets when you're trying to understand what next. So the essentials, regulars are there, but what next? So we're tapping into new spaces, from the communication club to, say, right now the newest thing that we're trying to get onto was in, supply chain and operation in the next technological way of it. So we're always expanding, and it's all student run. You're right.
Guys, this is one aspect of your life at Masters Union. There's, I'm sure, a lot of other elements that people would like to know more about. They would definitely want to know more about the numbers and the figures, of course, that they must have heard in the last 2-3 years since its inception, and we are going to talk more about these things in detail. But for now, let's explore this campus a little more. Show me around. This is the first time I am visiting this particular campus, so if you can take me to your classrooms where you guys actually spend some bit of your time and how that goes on, that will be great.
We'd
Sure,
love for
let's
you
go.
to see.
Okay, guys, we are standing right at the middle of Net Promoter Score, and probably here is where your scores are also calculated or counted. So, yeah, tell me a little bit about this classroom. How many of them are there in this campus, and how does classroom experience look like?
In the classroom experience, as you can see, these are our whiteboards which turn into projectors. This has been our experience. We've all had classes here, be it communication, we've done role plays.
Right. Let's talk about the students who sit here, like you guys here. There's one program that Masters Union offers, which is a PG program that you guys are also part of. What is the batch size of that particular program, and how is the diversity like for that program?
We're 163 in number, to be precise, and the diversity, women are, we're about 40% by gender, but if I may divide it by professions, we have a national level golfer, we have an author,
ISRO scientists,
we have 2 ISRO scientists, and
content creators,
we have a lawyer.
So, we have learned a lot about the kind of program that this particular institute offers and the kind of people who come in and teach to this place. Tell me a little bit about how do I go about getting in here? Is there like a cutoff that's there? Is there a selection procedure? Is this very rigorous? How is that at MU?
If I may say so, I think the admissions process itself is very unique, just like the college. So it's not a very typical way of getting in. You have options of getting in through regular CAT, GMAT, GRE scores, but we also have something called MU BAT. It's an institutionalized exam that we take up for people who have not prepared or taken up the courses. For example, there are courses you need to register for. A CAT requires you to take it up way before. For someone who's just trying to get into the program a little later, that itself we have a provision to take up the exam, and then you can score well on that and get through. So there's no cutoff per se, but yes, we have open windows in every frame for you to join here.
I would like to know a little bit about now the academic pedagogy that is in place. You guys were saying that a lot of these interactions happen with industry stalwarts, but what exactly happens so that the learning is holistic, so that the learning is 360 degree for you guys, and you guys get to know about the academic side of things, the studying part of it, and then doing part of it at the same time.
Like you mentioned, there's a slice for everyone to take, and that's how the CXOs also, we try to emulate them. It starts with them sharing about their failures. It could be people who've been on the Shark Tank, it could be people who've been very successful startup founders, and it's also people who failed. So when we borrow those learnings, coupled with faculties who come with a great academic background, it gives us a lot of learning. And how we get to practice that is essentially our outclass assignments for me. The drop shipping project where you create a business in 6 weeks, you turn in revenue. For someone who's not been exposed to entrepreneurship, it's a massive challenge. The VIP program where you learn about the know-hows of how to start your own startup, get a pre-seed check, or the ability to become a social media influencer. That's a new thing coming up. But there's something for everyone. You could be a LinkedIn influencer, you could have your own talent showcased on Instagram. So these were few challenges that force you to apply what you learn in theory and then learn from your failures as beautifully as the CXOs put it up.
Guys, every B school has its own USP when it comes to that, and I'm sure this particular institute also has a USP of its own. If you have to define it, what would that be?
For me, it's flexibility. I don't know of any business school that allows its students to run a 5 crore fund, which is the MUIF. They get to evaluate startups, they get to invest in them, they raise the money, and the profit is of course shared within their body.
Right.
So these self-governing bodies where you apply what you learn about finance, you assess startups, and you become a part of that entire ecosystem, that's very liberating.
I agree. Flexibility and very hands-on as well. We're treated like postgraduate students, right? It's not like you go, you're told this is the syllabus, follow this, you'll get your A+ by the end of it. That's not how it works here. So you're actually forced to get your hands dirty from day one, which I feel is a great USP. We don't get to do it, at least I've never done it before. So this was something which I found very unique and very interesting as well, that makes it more relevant going forward.
Superb. And we are going to figure that out, how much the previous batches have come ahead and what were the sort of placement numbers and companies that they have gone through in the next segment. But the sun is also setting outside. We're almost towards the end of our trip to MU, and I would like to explore this campus, whatever is left of it, with you guys, and know a little more about this campus.
We're happy to show you around.
Let's go.
So guys, we are sitting here, this probably is our last junction on this particular campus, and the last junction of this particular KYC video as well, where we talk about the kind of people that this particular institute has seen graduating. So what has been some of the highlights of the alums that you have encountered?
It's awe-inspiring that despite COVID and despite being a new college, few of our alums started up their own business. They've raised upwards of 1 million. Be it Bullspree, which is a trading simulation app, and there's one called 8, which is a music simulation app. So these are two very interesting areas. Other than that, our alumni is well placed in, so I know Pushpak is in Mo Engage. He started with Cisco as a product manager. If you talk about our pipeline to Bain, BCG, McKinsey, from the first and the second cohort, they've been raising the bar higher and higher with bigger shoes to fill in. And these are a few of the companies such as Microsoft, and there are various profiles for finance, for product. It's a great place to be in.
With this, we come to the last and probably the most highlighted section of this particular video, and we're talking about placements here. MU is known for the kind of numbers that it has projected over the years and the kind of salaries it has promised or offered to its students or the companies that has come to this campus. What are some of these companies that have visited in the last year? What has been the pay packages for this particular course, if you can highlight a little bit on that?
One of the major recruiters was Razorpay, Bain and BCG for consulting, and you can name startups. We've had many companies in the field of Aether Energies. Is a very unique company which recruited chief of staff role, and the CAs have also been doing well with CRED. There's sales and strategy roles offered by CRED.
Various fintech opportunities, or at least for the finance people,
And for
VC opportunities as well.
Growth startups, this is the place to be.
And what are the numbers in terms of average and median packages?
The average for our senior cohorts, it's at about 33 lakhs per annum.
Yeah, pretty much. And median is also around the same.
Yeah, the
it's
median
like
is
30
about
plus.
30 plus.
Lovely. On that note, we are drawing close to this particular episode of KYC. I thought of exploring this particular campus a little more with you guys, and you guys did justice, I would say, to
We hope so.
definitely give an outline of this particular institute. If you want to know more about this particular institute, there is a link in the description. Go check that out. If you have any further questions that you want to ask, feel free to comment, and some of these questions will be sent to them for them to answer. Do tell us how did you like this particular episode of KYC, and which other B schools you want us to go next to cover the same. Thank you once again, guys, and have a great life ahead.
Thank you so much.